You know, in the world of trading, there's this legendary quest, right? This hunt for one thing that promises to solve everything, the so-called Holy Grail. It's this idea of a perfect can't-lose system. But what if that whole search, the very thing everyone is looking for, is pointed in the completely wrong direction?
I mean, you hear this all the time. It's probably the #1 question new traders ask. And it feels logical, doesn't it? If you're right more often than you're wrong, you must be making money. But what we're about to see is that this question, well, it isn't just misguided, it's actually a trap that keeps people from ever finding real, lasting success.
So, what is this mythical holy grail people are so desperately searching for? For most, it's a magic bullet, some kind of secret indicator, a hidden pattern, a signal that flashes and tells them, buy now, you'll be right. The focus is almost 100% on just one thing, the entry. But the pros? Oh, they're playing a completely different game.
And this chart, this just shows it perfectly. It's a real-world example from investment conferences. You'll have a talk on, say, high-probability entry signals, and the room is packed. We're talking 600 people, standing room only. But then, just down the hall, there's a talk on money management, the very thing that actually determines if you survive long-term, and you'll be lucky if 30 people show up. It's just human nature, I guess, to chase the exciting, easy-sounding answer, even when it's the wrong one.
Okay, so if pouring all your energy into finding the perfect entry signal is a dead end, where should you be looking? Well, the foundation of successful trading isn't a single magic trick. It's more like a structure, and it's built on 3 incredibly important pillars that the pros have absolutely mastered.
And here they are. Real trading success isn't about one little trick, it's about mastering these 3 big areas. First up, psychology. That's your own mindset, the battle in your head. Second, system development. And that means creating a whole methodology, not just an entry signal. And third, position sizing, which is all about deciding how much you're going to risk. Now notice something? That entry signal everyone obsesses over, it's just a tiny, tiny piece of just one of these pillars.
Let's really zero in on position sizing for a second, because this is probably the single most overlooked part of trading, and yet it's arguably the most critical. It has nothing to do with what you buy, it's all about how much you risk when you do. You really can't overstate how important this is. It is the engine that actually drives your results.
And this slide right here just nails the fundamental misunderstanding. A novice thinks success means having a super high win rate. But a pro knows that's almost irrelevant. You can actually be wrong more often than you're right and still be wildly profitable, as long as your wins are way, way bigger than your losses. At the end of the day, profitability isn't an ego game, it's a math game.
Which brings us to what a lot of pros say is the biggest pillar of them all, psychology. In fact, you'll hear some argue that trading is 100% psychology. And why is that? Because you could have the most perfect, genius system in the world, but it's totally useless if the person clicking the mouse is driven by fear, greed, and ego. You are always the weakest link. The real battle isn't with the market, it's with the person in the mirror.
So, let me ask you a question. What do you think is the biggest threat to your trading account? Is it a sudden market crash, a bad signal from your system, or is it something a lot closer to home?
Well, the biggest threat is you. More specifically, it's all these little mental shortcuts and biases that are hardwired into our brains. You've got things like the lotto bias, that deep-down desire for a huge, fast win. The need to be right bias, where your ego gets tangled up in a trade. And then there's the big one, the absolute classic, our human tendency to cut our winners short and let our losers run. Let's look at this self-sabotage cycle because it's so powerful. Our brains are basically wired for certainty. So taking a small profit feels great. It's a sure thing, you locked it in. And holding on to a loser, that gives you hope that it might come back, and you avoid the pain of admitting you were wrong. But here's the kicker. Profitable trading demands the absolute opposite. It demands the discipline to kill a losing trade without a second thought, and the courage to let a winner run, even when every fiber of your being is screaming to take the money.
Okay, so we've kind of established that our own psychology is the biggest hurdle. But here's the good news. It's also the key to the solution. This means we have to stop looking for some holy grail out there and start forging one for ourselves. It's not about finding a perfect system. It's about building a system that is perfect for you.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If there's no magic formula you can just download or buy off a shelf, what do you do? Where do you even start? Well, the answer is you stop looking outward and you start looking inward. You begin with a self-inventory.
See, a trading system has to fit your life and your unique personality. I mean, are you working a 9-to-5 job? then a system that requires you to watch the screen all day is just not going to work. Are you the kind of person who gets caught up in excitement really easily? Then a fast-paced, high-frequency system could be disastrous. Can you handle taking 10 losses in a row without completely freaking out? Your personal tolerance for pain and risk will define your strategy. Answering these questions really honestly is the first real step to building a system you can actually stick with.
So as we start to bring this all together, the central message starts to become really clear, doesn't it? We started this journey looking for a secret pattern on a chart, but the real journey? It has almost nothing to do with the market. It's all about the search within.
I want you to really let this quote from the source material sink in. I mean, this says it all right here. The chaos you feel from watching the markets is really just a mirror of the chaos you feel inside. Once you master your own psychology, your own discipline, your own process, suddenly the market starts to look like a very different, much less scary place.
So here's the big takeaway. The Holy Grail. It actually does exist. But it's not a piece of software you can buy or a secret you can learn in a weekend seminar. It is the process of building a system that fits your personality, managing your risk through smart position sizing, and developing the ironclad discipline to follow your rules no matter what. The Holy Grail is a journey of self-mastery.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one you have to ask yourself. After all this, are you going to keep chasing that frustrating, endless search for a magic system out there? Or are you ready to start the much harder but infinitely more rewarding work of building the trader and the system within yourself? Because that choice right there is the only one that truly matters. Thanks for tuning in.